Kaya finds an open laptop with active auctions on the screen. She realizes these people are human traffickers. After a jet ski accident, a group of friends is rescued by a fishing boat, only to realize that being saved might be the worst thing that ever happened to them. Kaya is a young woman with big dreams and even bigger problems. She was a good student and could have gone to college, but after her mother passed away a year ago, her father fell into alcoholism. She could have run away from home, but she has a younger brother, Kid, who's too attached to her and wouldn't survive with her drunk father. Trying to take a break from her daily struggles, she decides to meet up with her friend Tess for a little walk. Only when they meet does Kaya find out it's not just a walk, it's a double date with two lifeguards. Julian and Xander are young guys offering more than a casual ride on jet skis. They promise an unforgettable trip to the Bahamas. Kaya hesitates at first, but agrees when the guys assure her they'll be back by sunset. She warns her little brother and hands her phone to Xander, who seals it in a waterproof bag. Soon the four of them set off for the tropical islands, ready to enjoy the sandy beaches, crystal clear water, and total lack of tourists. Tess and Julian are a couple, so they spend their time away from the others. Kaya, still heartbroken from a recent breakup, finds unexpected comfort in Xander's kindness and attention. He listens, understands, and slowly wins her over. After spending the whole day together, the two end the romantic island trip with a kiss. As the sun begins to set, the two couples decide to head back to the mainland. On the way home, Julian starts showing off, speeding across the waves, until he hits a huge swell and loses control. He and Tess are thrown into the open sea as their jet skis skid several meters away. They're shaken but fine, at least until Xander, distracted by Kaya, stops watching where he's going. Caught up in the moment, he doesn't see what's ahead, and it leads to disaster. Their jet ski slams into Julian's head, then crashes into the first couple's vehicle. Within seconds, all four of them are thrown into the vast ocean with no flotation devices. The jet skis slowly begin to sink, but what terrifies Tess and Kaya even more is that both guys have disappeared. Trying not to panic, the girls scan the waves and spot one of the guys drifting nearby. Xander has survived. His life jacket kept him afloat, but he's face down and barely breathing. The girls manage to pull him to safety, but Julian is nowhere to be found. Minutes of desperate searching make it clear, Julian is gone. And that's not their only problem. They're stranded in open water, miles from land, with no one in sight. They could drown, freeze, or worse, become prey. A massive shark, drawn by the scent of blood, is already heading their way. Just when death seemed inevitable, the girls spotted an old, rusty fishing trawler drifting nearby. They started screaming and waving their arms frantically, praying someone would notice them. Luckily, a fisherman named Ray spotted something unusual on the horizon through his binoculars. Moments later, he steered his boat toward them, scaring off the shark in the process. Tess, Xander, and Kaya managed to climb aboard, relieved and grateful to finally be safe, or so they thought. Xander was badly injured and couldn't move because of a broken leg, while Tess was suffering from sharp abdominal pain. Realizing her friends needed medical help, Kaya begged Ray to contact the Coast Guard or emergency services so that an ambulance would be waiting when they reached the port. Ray nodded and promised to call for help, but he never intended to. Not only did he avoid reporting the incident, but he began asking strange questions, like whether there was anyone else with them. While Kaya stayed by Xander's side, trying to comfort him, Tess went to get some water and painkillers. A few minutes later, Kaya called out to her friend, but there was no response. Uneasy, she searched the deck and eventually stepped into the wheelhouse, only to find Tess gone without a trace. When Kaya confronted Ray, he grew even more evasive, claiming that Tess was resting in a cabin and that he needed to treat her wound. But it was another lie. Ray soaked a rag in chloroform and lunged at Kaya, knocking her unconscious. Leaving the helpless Xander on deck, Ray dragged the two girls into a locked compartment below, a grim, isolated space accessible only through a small hatch. Knowing that the teens might be reported missing, he steered the trawler farther out to sea. Some time later, Tess and Kaya woke up on an old, filthy mattress in a room that looked more like a basement than a cabin. The walls were stained with rust and blood, filling the air with dread. Realizing that Ray wasn't just a fisherman but a deranged maniac, Tess broke down in tears. She noticed a message scratched into the metal wall, "Help me," and understood that no one had ever left this place alive. But Kaya tried to calm her friend, insisting there had to be a way out. As she searched the room, she found several tiny hatches overhead, but all of them were rusted shut. That night, Kaya discovered a bent piece of wire but had no idea how to use it. The next morning, Ray opened the hatch, not to release them, but to lower a basket of food. Kaya begged him to let her go, telling him about her alcoholic father and her little brother waiting at home. But Ray was unmoved. He coldly ordered her to take the food and obey his rules, or face punishment. When Kaya tried to climb up toward him, he shoved her back and pulled the food away. Then, in an icy tone, Ray laid out his system of punishment. The first act of disobedience meant no food. The second, no water. And the third, he'd beat them both. While the girls panic in complete despair, Ray acts as if nothing unusual has happened. He keeps fishing, cleaning his catch, and cooking lunch, all while ignoring Xander, who's bleeding out, and the girls locked in the basement. A little later, Kaya hears the sound of a yacht approaching, then a small motorboat. She realizes someone's arrived, but doubts it's anyone coming to help them. Ray greets an older man, his partner in dark, twisted business dealings whose secrets lie buried beneath the endless sea. The man, known as Doc, immediately notices Xander and warns that he could be trouble. He's an American, and people might be looking for him. Ray reassures him, the guy's just lost, and no one will suspect he's on their trawler. Shortly after, Doc goes down to check on the girls. He examines Tessa, finding she has a severe chest bruise, but her ribs are intact. She's not in mortal danger. As he does this, Kaya notices Ray's knife and considers stealing it. He catches her glance and taunts her, daring her to take it while making it clear what the consequences would be. Back in the wheelhouse, Doc hands Ray cash from their latest sales. It turns out the two are trafficking people and harvesting organs. Ray searches the sea for missing tourists or drifters, and when Doc arrives, they decide who's worth selling and who'll be used for parts. Some end up as slaves, others are dissected for organs. After all, there's no shortage of rich buyers willing to pay anything for life and health. Doc offers $5,000 for each of the girls, while Xander is doomed, though Ray notes that he could still be useful since a wealthy lawyer in Miami needs a liver transplant. Soon, Ray and Doc begin preparing Xander for surgery right there on the fishing boat. They tie him down to the same table where Ray once cleaned fish, then sedate him so he won't feel a thing. Doc performs the operation, removes the liver, and they dump the body into the open sea. Watching through a crack in the hatch, Kaya witnesses everything and realizes they're all doomed. Remembering the rusty metal shards, she figures out someone had once tried to pry open an emergency hatch to escape. Using a piece of wire, she starts scraping away the rust, knowing it will take days to make any progress. The next morning, Doc and Ray come down again, this time to take pictures of Kaya and drag Tessa upstairs. Realizing her friend might be next, Kaya tries to fight back, but it's useless. Ray is too strong and threatens to hurt her if she resists. All day long, Doc examines Tessa, noting her tattoos, blood type, and vital stats. Meanwhile, Kaya keeps working on the hatch until she finally manages to open it. She could escape right then, but when she sees Doc preparing a makeshift operating table under the open sky, she realizes it's meant for her friend. At night, Ray and Doc prepare Tessa for surgery. They strap her to the butcher's table and use a small dose of anesthetic gas to calm her down. Meanwhile, Kaya sneaks into the wheelhouse and grabs the radio, desperately trying to contact the Coast Guard. But no one answers, and when Ray returns, she's forced to hide. She slips into the engine room and finds a small living cabin packed with equipment. Looking through different weapons, she realizes a knife or an axe wouldn't do much good, but a harpoon could strike from a distance. When Doc starts the operation, the girl runs out onto the deck to stop him and save her friend. She threatens the older man with a harpoon, but he doesn't take her seriously. He thinks Kaya isn't capable of pulling the trigger. Backing away in panic, she kicks the hatch and accidentally shoots Doc in the stomach. Thinking he's too weak to be a threat, she frees Tessa, but Doc lunges at her and tries to strangle her. Kaya could have died, but Tessa grabs the scalpel and drives it into the man's neck and back several times. A few minutes later, Ray comes up on deck and finds Doc bleeding out and slowly dying. Acting fast, Ray punctures the inflatable so the girls can't use it to escape. He grabs a flashlight, searches the trawler, and realizes they're gone. Peering into the dark water, he spots the two girls nearby moving toward a yacht. Turning on the floodlights to track them, Ray decides to chase and kill them both, but his plan is doomed. Before leaving the trawler, Kaya cut all the wires and cables, leaving the vessel dead in the water. Kaya realizes they'd bought themselves only a little time. The yacht is still far away, and Tessa is injured and barely holding onto a life ring. They're moving too slowly, and a strong current pulls them off course, reducing their chances of rescue. At one point, Tessa accepts that both of them might die and begs her friend to leave her behind. She's sure only one of them can survive, and Kaya has the better chance. Telling Kaya not to worry and to go, Tessa lets go, which allows Kaya to reach the yacht within minutes. Catching her breath, Kaya climbs aboard slowly and carefully. Unsure whether anyone else is on board, she listens for every sound, trying to keep any chance of escape open. After confirming the yacht is empty, she rushes to the wheelhouse and starts pressing every button. The engines won't start and the keys are missing, so she has to use the radio. She sends a distress call, and, to her relief, the Coast Guard answers. The dispatcher wants to help but says they can't find her without landmarks or a working navigation system. During the call, the dispatcher mentions that the yacht should have a backup beacon, a small yellow device that looks like a radio. While searching, Kaya finds an open laptop with active auctions on the screen. She realizes these people are human traffickers, selling anyone they catch into slavery or for organs. Immigrants, children, women, they're all merchandise for wealthy buyers who gamble with lives. Back to the search, Kaya locates a flare gun in the beacon, but she doesn't know how to activate it. The instructions say to throw it into the water, but doing that turns out to be harder than it sounds. On her way to the deck, the girl hears strange noises and realizes she's not alone on board. The sounds grow louder, and she can't bring herself to throw the beacon into the water, even though the edge is just a few feet away. As she backs away and hides, she hears Ray, who has also climbed onto the yacht. His goal is clear: to find and kill her, since she's the only witness to his crimes. Moving slowly and cautiously, Ray searches every room but doesn't find her, then climbs out through a hatch above. At that moment, Kaya crawls out from a small compartment hidden beneath the yacht's floor. She heads toward the deck, but just before she reaches it, she realizes Ray is right behind her, ready to strike. As soon as she turns around, the fisherman stabs her in the stomach and watches as Kaya bleeds out, struggling to breathe. She reaches up and touches his face, and while Ray prepares to deliver the final blow, Kaya proves to be smarter. Timing it perfectly, she grabs the fallen flare gun and fires it straight into Ray's mouth, burning him from the inside until he collapses and dies. Her mission hasn't changed. She still needs to throw the beacon into the water, but she's weak and soon loses consciousness. When she wakes up a few minutes later, she gathers her strength and tosses the beacon, but it lands on the edge of the yacht. She has no strength left to crawl to it, realizes she's doomed, and passes out again. Luckily, the night waves are strong enough to knock the beacon into the water, activating the yacht's signal. By morning, an armed Coast Guard team arrives at the scene. Kaya manages to tell them about the criminals and everything that happened. Soon after, a rescue helicopter arrives to airlift her to shore. During resuscitation, Kaya's heart stops for a few minutes, but the doctor brings her back to life. Meanwhile, another rescue team finds Tessa, who also survived and is brought safely to land. There, an ambulance, along with Kaya's father and younger brother, who have already learned about the tragedy, are waiting for them. Before being taken to the hospital, the two girls share one last look, realizing how foolish they'd been. What started as a fun adventure turned into a horrifying tragedy that almost cost them their lives. Where's the line between a victim and a predator when survival means having to kill? Share your thoughts in the comments, drop a like, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.